I know a lot of people will argue for what I'm about to say, but here it is. We are going to compare two of the most popular 150 scooters that you'll ever find. We are going to compare the Yamaha NMAX 155 ABS versus the Honda PCX 160 ABS. First factor, we're going to compare them with the power, fuel economy, and the rider approachability of the scooters. Secondly, we're going to talk about the specs and technology of these two scooters, and we are going to mention as well their similarities and their differences, so we could identify which is better than the other. On the third part, we are going to talk about the design and the looks of these two scooters, and we're going to mention as well which one is more beautiful than the other. And last but not the least, we're going to identify which one is much more affordable, and we are going to mention the MSRP of these two scooters. Plus, we're going to mention as well which one is much more affordable when you're loaning it. What I like about these two scooters is that they're almost identical with the power, with the seat height, with the weight, and the fuel consumption as well. But PCX is much more better. The NMAX has 15 horsepower at 8,000 RPM, and it has 14 Newton meters of torque at 6,500 RPM. While the PCX is better, it has a 15.6 horsepower at 8,000 RPM, but it's much more better at the torque. It has 15 Newton meters of torque at 6,000 RPM. And when it comes to the seat height, NMAX has 765 millimeter and PCX has the 764 millimeter seat height, and both of them can be ridden by a 5-foot flat rider at least. Both of them have the same weight, 131 kilograms, wet and ready to ride, and the fuel capacity of the NMAX is 7.1 liter, and it can run about 44 km per liter, while the PCX has a large fuel tank capacity of 8 liter, and it can run about 40 to 45 km per liter. When it comes to the specs and technology, they both have the charging port, hazard lights, idling stop or start and stop system, which helps you on your fuel economy, and both of them have traction control, different terms. On the Honda, they're calling it Honda Selectable Torque Control, while on Yamaha, they're calling it Yamaha Traction Control. But like I said, different terms, they both have traction control. And last but the least, they both have a smart key, keyless ignition. Specs that they're so different about, I know this is not that much, but when it comes to the PCX, it's having a 14-inch wheels on the front side and 13-inch on the rear, while the NMAX has both 13-inch on the front side and on the rear. And both of the scooters have tubeless tires, by the way. They also share the same size of the tires, 110/70 on the front side and 130/70 on the rear. Both of them are having digital display. While the NMAX has the LCD display, the PCX is colored, and it's much more futuristic and modern looking if you're going to compare it with the LCD display of the NMAX. Both of them have ABS, but the NMAX has a dual channel ABS, which is much more better, and the NMAX has the upper hand of the Y Connect, which you can connect your phone to your motorcycle, while the PCX has the upper hand of theft alarm, which I actually tested when we are activating the PCX 160 back at Honda Jet Kidapawan.
Paano patayin? Taas. Ito. Kapag sige daw, galawin mo daw, sir. So, yan. Pipindutin mo lang daw yung taas, which is this one.
So when it comes to the styles and design, definitely you're gonna appreciate the front side of the PCX. To tell you quite frankly, and I know it's going to be subjective, the front side of the PCX is way better than the front side of the Yamaha NMAX. The Yamaha NMAX has LED on its headlight, but it still runs on halogen bulb on the turn signals, while the design of the PCX is much more better if you're going to consider the DRLs, the headlights, and the LED turn signal that is connected along with its headlights. The rear side, for me, the PCX is much more better as well. I like the beefier stance of the Yamaha NMAX, which is sometimes you may compare it with the 300cc scooters. I also like the fact that even though the NMAX has a 23 liter while the PCX has 30 liter compartment, it definitely looks like the NMAX has more better space. I know this is not that much, but when it comes to the beauty of the seat, the PCX is much more better, but the seat of the NMAX looks much more durable and it can last for a very long time. When we are buying a motorcycle, definitely we need to consider as well the color options, which for me the NMAX has the upper hand because it has 4 color options right here in the Philippines. But the two of my favorite are Silver Prestige and of course the Dark Petrol, which it looks like a dark green type of paint job. I also like the black and white color option coming from the PCX, but if I get to choose the two, I get to choose the white. It looks much more elegant, and for me the paint job is on the high level. And if you're going to compare it with other 150cc high spec scooters out there, I believe Honda is one of the best when it comes to its paint job. And I need to mention that there's only 2 color options here in the Philippines, black and white if you are buying the PCX ABS, but they also offer a metallic gray color on the PCX combi brake system, which is a lower spec of the PCX. If I'm going to choose of the 3 colors, definitely I'd go with the gray. It's much more better, it's much more aggressive looking if you're going to ask me, but unfortunately the PCX ABS only has 2 color options. Now when it comes to the price, the Yamaha NMAX is priced at 150,000 pesos MSRP here in the Philippines, and it's having at least one of the most expensive price that you may consider if you are buying a Yamaha 155cc in the Philippines. But I might consider the Yamaha better when it comes to its safety because of its dual channel ABS, while the PCX has a 139,900 pesos. It's definitely going to be an offer, and considering the price, if you're going to compare the two, when I asked the Yamaha, they are giving out 40,000 down payment for the Yamaha NMAX with a 6,000 plus 36 months monthly payment. The PCX has a low down payment. They are only offering it for at least 14,000 pesos. You're gonna have to pay at least 6,000 plus on the monthly payment with 36 months. If I'm going to loan the bike, definitely I'd go with the PCX, but if I definitely have cash to pay at least one motorcycle, I'd definitely go with the NMAX because of its dual channel technology. So out of those 4 categories, if we're going to talk about the first category, which is the power, fuel consumption, and its rider friendliness, definitely the PCX has won that game. It has the advantage of the fuel capacity and fuel consumption, and it also has the advantage of the power. But when it comes to the second category, which is the specs and technology, even though the PCX has theft alarm, you cannot deny that the NMAX is much more better because it's having a dual channel technology. But let's be honest, if you're in the neutral corner, definitely you're gonna like the PCX better when it comes to the looks. I'm not saying that the NMAX is not good looking, it's just PCX is more better looking and better styling if you're going to compare the two. When it comes to the pricing, I'm going to give it a tie at least because not everyone can buy in cash, so I like the advantage of the PCX offer when it comes to its low down payment and its monthly payment. So for me, the PCX is much more better if you're going to compare a lot of things against its competition. But like I said a while ago, safety is much more better than anything else, so the NMAX is much more better because of its dual channel ABS. So let me know in the comment section below what you think and which one is better for you. And if you're considering buying one of these 2 motorcycles that I mentioned, I hope this video was very helpful. Exodus 14:14 to everyone. Keep on training and trust the process. And I'll see you in the next video.